Hello everybody, and welcome to Blueworks Live March 2017 release preview session. I'm Margaret Thorpe, Blueworks Live Offering Manager, and today I'm going to be giving you an overview of the Blueworks Live release that's coming out this coming Saturday, March 25th. So in this release of Blueworks Live, we've expanded viewer access. So viewers can now access policies and decisions, and the viewer navigation experience has been improved. We've also simplified user administration in a number of ways. Users can now enter their business unit, and this business unit can be used to track users by department. Admins logged in using SSO can copy spaces across accounts now, and the ManageGroup API has been enhanced to return additional information. In this release, we've also enhanced our reporting capabilities. Additional information is available for reporting purposes now, including fields like the created date, the created by users, and these new fields are available in all of the various exports and the APIs. The Excel export API has been enhanced as well to make it more flexible, and there are a couple of new APIs for reporting on spaces, space details, and space contents. And finally, the decision diagram is included in the Word export of decisions. So that's the summary of the enhancements that we're delivering in this release. And before I go into more detail about these, I'd like to cover a couple of support announcements. As of June 30th, 2017, Internet Explorer 9 and IE 10 will no longer be supported. As you probably know, Microsoft dropped support for these releases in January 2016. Also, as of June 30th, 2017, all browsers will need to be configured to support TLS 1.2 in order to work properly with Blueworks Live. This won't impact the majority of you, as most browsers are set to use TLS 1.2 as the default, but we'll be sending out an email to Blueworks Live admins in a couple of weeks telling you how to figure out if there's any action that you may need to take in order to be prepared for this. So now let's take a closer look at the enhancements that I just touched upon. Starting with the viewer enhancements. So as you're probably aware, viewers can only see process blueprints in Blueworks Live today, but with this release, viewers will also be able to see policies and decisions in their space overview page. Of course, they must be participants of the space, so in other words, they must have permissions to access the space in order to be able to see any of its contents. And as is the case with blueprints, they will only be able to see decisions that are in a published state. Now, as far as viewer navigation is concerned, a few things have changed. First of all, you'll notice that the Blueworks Live, or your company branded logo, if you're using your own logo in Blueworks Live, it appears on the left now, which is consistent with the rest of the product. For viewers, it was previously on the right. So that's on the left now, and clicking on that logo will take the viewer to their home page. Additionally, viewers will be able to see tags. If there are tags associated with the blueprint that they're viewing, that will be visible just underneath the name of the blueprint. And also, if you hover over a connecting line, the viewer will be able to see that get highlighted along with the label over the line if it has one. And lastly, viewers can now navigate to policies and decisions directly from the process diagram. So for example, if I were to click on this validate driver decision over here on the right, I'd be taken to the decision diagram view. And so here the viewer is able to explore the different elements of the decision, including all the decision details, as well as any associated decision tables. So if they were to click on that view decision table link out to the right, the decision table would pop up for them, and this is what a decision table looks like to a viewer. Now if the viewer clicks on a policy, they'll be taken to this. Basically, they'll see the description of the policy and any references that are attached to it. Now let's talk about user administration features. As I mentioned, you can now capture your business unit in your profile information on the My User Settings panel if you like. And as you'll see, this can be helpful for organizations that want to track Blueworks Live usage by department, for example. So this new business unit field, it appears as a property in the glossary as well. So for organizations that want to be more formal about tracking users' departments, the glossary manager can predefine valid department names in their glossary. They don't have to, of course. They can just let users enter their own business unit as they like. But glossary managers can even go a step further and encourage users to select from a set of predefined department names by turning on the preferred property warnings for the business unit property. And of course, this will make it harder for users to enter whatever they like as their business unit. They'll be encouraged to select via a valid business unit that's already been predefined. Now, to see all of the users in a particular business unit, the glossary manager can click on the Where Used icon for any given business unit, and the list of users in that business unit will be displayed. For example, in this screenshot, you can see that there's only one user in the process transformation department, but of course, if there were more, they'd show up as well. Now, admins can also see the business unit that a user is associated with on the User Management tab of the Admin console, as you can see here. Now, if they click on the user's name, they will also be able to update the user's business unit. Say, for example, if it were empty or if it had a typo they wanted to correct or something like that. And they can also sort on the business unit column to easily see all of the users in any given business unit. And of course, the business unit is also included in the Excel export that the admin can do from here that contains all of the users of the account. Now, there are a couple more enhancements that I'd like to mention that are related to user administration. Previously, there was a limitation that kept admins from being able to copy spaces across accounts if they were logged in under SSO. We fixed that so that admins on single sign-on accounts can copy spaces across accounts now. Now, the ManageGroup API is one of Blueworks Live APIs that's used for reporting on users and sometimes for automating user management tasks. We've enhanced this API to return more information about users and user groups. So previously, for example, only usernames were returned, which are not necessarily unique. Now the user ID as well as the email address of the users are returned. So we've got some reporting improvements in this release as well. We've had reporting improvements in the last couple of releases. And this is kind of the last of the reporting enhancements that we've had on our immediate list. And so we've got some new fields that you'll see in Blueworks Live, specifically for reporting purposes, really. So including the created date, the created by user, the last modified date, and the last modified user. And as you can see, these fields, they're included in the Microsoft Word export. They're included in the Excel export, the PowerPoint export, as well as the relevant APIs. And so with these fields, you'll be able to better report on recent activity in your account and just, much more easily identify, what sort of things have changed over time, and you'll be able to more easily get in touch with people who made changes that you might be interested in, a person who created a particular blueprint, say, for example. And the Word export of decision includes the decision diagram now. It was missing previously, and now we've added it. So that's part of the Word export now. And we've added a couple more APIs that will allow you to report on spaces, the space details, and the contents of spaces. So get spaces will return a list of spaces that meet certain criteria. So you can specify whether or not you want archived spaces. You can get subspaces of a particular parent space, get spaces with certain names or tags associated with them, etc. You can also retrieve information about a specific space if you have the space ID. And this API will return the user list, subspaces, blueprints, decisions, and policies. and can be filtered based on whether or not you want archived or published artifacts. And the Excel Export API is not new, but we've enhanced it to make it more flexible. So now, just like the Excel space export in the Blueworks Live user interface, you can choose to include subspaces in the export or exclude certain data from the export if you don't want to see decisions, you don't want to see policies, etc., etc. So these are the space reporting API enhancements. And with these space reporting APIs, we will have delivered 11 new RESTful Swagger-based APIs in the last 6 months specifically for reporting. And for those of you that are interested but haven't had a chance to check out the new APIs, you can find them all documented and publicly available on the Blueworks Live Knowledge Center. And if, once again, if you're interested, this would be a good page to bookmark. So that's the summary of our March release. And in this short overview, you've seen how we've expanded viewer access, simplified user administration, and enhanced our reporting capabilities in this release. So you've seen how viewers can now access policies and decisions, and that the viewer navigation experience has been improved. You've seen how users can enter their business unit, how the glossary manager can predefine business unit values in the glossary if they like, and how the admins can view users by business unit. You've also seen how admins logged in through SSO can copy spaces across accounts now, and you've seen the improvements we've made to the ManageGroup API. You've also seen the additional information that's available for reporting now, including the created date, the created by user, last modified date, last modified user, and you've seen that these fields are included in the exports, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, as well as in the APIs. You saw that there was some enhancements to the Excel Export API to provide more control over the space information that's returned. And there's also a new API for reporting on spaces, space details, and space contents. And finally, the decision diagram is now part of the Word export of decisions. So that sums it up. Thank you so much for joining our call today, and let me take everybody off of mute, and we'll take some questions.